Hi friends, Lisa Brooks coming to you from Middle Tennessee, the heart of America, if you will. So this time we need to talk about what has happened to American politics and where it's heading if we don't change course. Because today, politics seems like it's become a zero-sum game. So the thinking goes, if my side wins, yours has to lose. If I rise, then you have to fall. If I hold power, I get to silence, shame, and punish anyone who disagrees. But folks, that's not a democracy. That's domination, and that is not sustainable. But you know, this didn't happen overnight. There's been a long line of politicians who've chosen to divide this country for personal gain. It didn't just start with Donald Trump. To understand how we got here, we have to go way back. Probably to the beginning of this country, but let's start in the 1950s with Joe McCarthy, who rose to power not by solving problems, but by creating enemies. He accused Americans of being communist, not because it was true, but because it made headlines. Teachers, artists, journalists, and even army generals' lives were ruined by a man who figured out that fear and paranoia were the fastest paths to political power. It didn't matter if it was a lie. It didn't matter if it hurt people. What mattered to McCarthy was the fight, the chaos, the control. And even though he was eventually condemned by his colleagues, the playbook he used never really went away. So now you can fast forward to the 1990s and you see a man named Newt Gingrich in Congress pick up where McCarthy left off. This time it wasn't with accusations of communism, but with scorched earth partisanship. Gingrich didn't just want to win elections, he wanted to destroy the other party. Newt Gingrich told Republicans just to use words like traitor, corrupt, sick, anti-family, to describe their opponents, not attack their ideas, but to attack their character. He encouraged a political culture that said, never compromise, never cooperate, don't give an inch. And if the country suffers in the process, so be it, as long as the other side gets the blame. That mindset of permanent war has seeped into every corner of politics today. We see it in the refusal to even speak across the aisle. We see it in governors who punish cities and schools that vote differently than he thinks they should. And we see it in the media echo chambers that don't really inform anymore, they just inflame. And we saw it on January 6th, when lies turned into violence and partisanship turned into a full-blown assault on our democracy. All of it traces back to one dangerous idea: that power is more important than people. And that if you disagree with someone, they aren't just wrong, they're evil. And that if you lose an election, you burn it down on the way out. That's not patriotism, and that's not leadership. That's not how a democracy survives. America was never meant to be a zero-sum nation. We're supposed to be a nation where we fight for one another and not just with one another. It's a place where disagreement doesn't make you a traitor, it makes you a citizen. And where our government doesn't just serve the winners of an election, it serves everyone. McCarthy's fear-mongering didn't make us any stronger. Gingrich's political warfare didn't make us any wiser. And today's cruelty, dressed up as politics, is not making us any freer. So it's time we turn the page. It's time we say we're done with the politics of destruction, and we're done with leaders who choose to divide and conquer us. We're done with a system that feeds the people at the top by pitting the rest of us against each other. Because while they've got us pointing our fingers at our neighbors instead of showing love and caring for our neighbors, they're just sitting at the top of the pyramid collecting the profits. And they've got us fighting for crumbs while they dine on entire tables full of wealth and power. Let's stop falling for it, friends. Let's stop repeating history and let's build something better. Folks, we can have disagreements without turning them into blood feuds, and we can have strong convictions without declaring war on our fellow citizens. And we can have politics that works for the people, not just the billionaires and the powerful. It all starts with telling the truth. It starts with rejecting the hate, and it starts with remembering the future of this country depends on not who we destroy, but on who we lift up. Thank you for spending your time with me. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you again in the not-so-distant future. Once again, I'm Lisa Brooks, coming to you from Middle Tennessee. Have a fabulous rest of the day.